Eric Voss, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse ended with a gut punch of a cliffhanger, a true, well, what the hell now moment, setting up the next installment, Beyond the Spider-Verse, currently slated to release March 29th, 2024. There's a lot to explain with this movie's take on the Spider-Verse, or I should say arachno-humanoid polymultiverse. No post-credit scenes, so in this video, we're just gonna discuss where this movie leaves us and what's coming next. Spoilers ahead! Also, I broke down new details in 2018's Into the Spider-Verse over on the Deep Dive channel, where on Friday I'm hosting a live breakdown of Across the Spider-Verse at noon Eastern. Support me with one of these Miles Morales Multiverse Dive shirts at nerdriot.shop. It's one of my favorite new shirt designs. I'm gonna be wearing this all the time. And thank you to Boxsuit for sponsoring this video. More on their tasty offerings later. So, in 2023's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales learns that the Spider Society of Miguel O'Hara has excluded Miles because he is an anomaly. That his Spider, Alchemax Spider number 42, came from another universe, Earth 42, and was never supposed to bite him. According to Miguel, this collider event caused Miles' universe's Peter Parker to die, it left Earth 42 without a Spider-Man, and it created the multiverse-consuming villain, the Spot. In Miles' universe, Jonathan Owen revealed in this movie to be the Alchemax scientist in the 2018 movie that Miles threw a bagel at, producing that hilarious action word of bagel. So Miguel explains the nature of the Spider-Verse, aka the Web of Life and Destiny, or in his words,
Spider-Verse. It's called the arachno-humanoid polymultiverse.
This web, he says, is made up of interlocking nodes of canon events, critical rites of passage for all spider people, which include deaths of loved ones and sacrificial deaths of police captains, which for Gwen Stacy would be her father George Stacy, and for Miles would be his father Lieutenant Jeff Morales, soon to be Captain Jeff Morales. And Miles, as an anomaly, disrupts these canon events just by his nature, which we saw in Mumbattan, when Miles saves Puppeteer Prabhakar's girlfriend's father, Captain Singh, from the fallout of the crumbling Alchemax building in that universe. So Miguel and his society trap villainous anomalies from the multiverse in these amber-colored shells, including a live-action cameo by Donald Glover as an alternate universe Aaron Davis Prowler. Remember, Glover played Aaron Davis in 2017 Spider-Man Homecoming in the MCU. Now, he wasn't necessarily Prowler yet at that time, and he also cameoed in 2018's Into the Spider-Verse on Aaron Davis's TV from an episode of NBC's Community when, as the character Troy, he wore Spider-Man PJs. Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, voiced Miles Morales in the Ultimate Spider-Man animated series. So Miguel tries to encase Miles for just a few days to let Miles' father Jeff die back on Earth 1610, because we know the Spot is targeting him. But Miles is able to use his electricity powers to explode out of the energy field, and he flees all the spider people in the HQ. He lures everyone on a chase on the high-speed rail train of Nueva York, then he fries Miguel's techno-organic suit and leaps back down to the lab, where he uses a machine to cocoon him in a shell that will send him back to his home reality based on the DNA of the spider that bit him, so that he can save his father. Miguel does the same to Gwen Stacy, sending her back to Earth 65 with no multiverse gadgets, so she's not able to help Miles. Bringing us to the final act, where things get really eerie. Miles dashes home through the rain. He passes reflections of Spider-Ham, Penny Parker, and Spider-Man Noir, his friends from the 2018 film. But this red and green tinted world just looks a little off compared to the Brooklyn he left behind. Now, when you're watching your favorite movies and shows, they've got your eyes and ears covered, but what about your other senses? You need a snack. And if you want snacks that are as immersive and transformative as a big block to make a stellar gift for the food or travel lover in your life. So if you want to try Boxu and support the channel, click the link in the description and use code ROCKSTARS to get $15 off your order. Meanwhile, Miguel leads a search party of Jessica Drew and Ben Reilly to Earth 1610 to stop Miles and to let Jeff die and defeat the Spot. Gwen Stacy, meanwhile, back in Earth 65, makes peace with her dad, George, who decided to resign from the police force and therefore not be a captain. And he gives her a different gadget designed by Hobie Brown that Gwen's able to use to go to 1610 to help Miles. So Miles has gone home, but a little detail in this bedroom, boxing gloves now hanging from the doorknob. This is a room of Miles who's still working the bag. So Miles tells his mother Rio that he's Spider-Man, and we think Gwen is listening outside, but Rio doesn't know who Spider-Man is. For a second, we think it's a joke, that Rio might just not be caught up on current events, but no. Like the classic Silence of the Lambs fake out, where Clarice Starling is going to one home while the FBI is raiding a different home. Gwen is actually outside a different location in a different universe. Miles' empty bedroom in 1610. Meanwhile, Miles realizes he is not in his home universe. That machine back in Nueva York was based on the DNA of the spider that bit him, which was not from 1610, it was from Earth 42, a universe with no Spider-Man. In this universe, Uncle Aaron is still alive. He says, "Hey," calling back his shoulder move advice from the first movie, and he asks Miles why he took his braids out. So Aaron, a criminal, has been giving Rio to help her make ends meet, and it's taken Miles under his wing. They go to the roof, and they see the memorial mural is not of Aaron, but of Miles' father, Jeff Morales. Jeff is dead in this universe. Miles gets knocked out, and he wakes up tied to Aaron's punching bag in his apartment, the one that Miles and Aaron worked out with in the 2018 film, and the one that Miles tied Peter B. Parker to. Aaron now reveals that he is not the Prowler, someone else is, and a younger Prowler steps forward and unmasks himself. It's the face of Miles. His hair is braided. The credits identify this as Miles G. Morales. He's voiced by Gerald Jerome. Our Miles' shocked face is lit by red on one side, blue on the other, but in the middle, those two colors mixed, Prowler purple. A color that, not to get too nerdy about this, does not exist in the normal spectrum of light, because in the spectrum of all visible light by the human eye, blue is on one side, red is at the other end. Our rods and cones just kind of mix them together in our heads. That's why purple is often associated with villains in these movies, because it's just not from this world. So our Miles says, "If I don't get home, our dad is going to die." But Prowler corrects, "Your dad." Our Miles begs, "Please, you have to let me go." The Prowler says, "Why would I do that?" And he clenches his armored fist and presses the punching bag right beside Miles' face. So the film ends with the spot closing in on Miles' father, Jeff, back in 1610, but we hear this wild drum solo, taking us back to the opening image of the movie, Gwen Stacy's drumming with her band, the Mary Janes. Remember, this movie began with Gwen Stacy leaving her band, and now she says she found a new band, the combined forces of herself, Gwen Stacy, Peter B. Parker, Hobie Brown, Spider-Man Noir, Penny Parker, and Spider-Ham on course to rescue and avenge Miles. End of movie, no post-credit scene, see you next year for Beyond the Spider-Verse. But how do any of them untangle this mess? Well, you could say Miles' dad might just be able to go the George Stacy route and resign from the PDNY, but I don't know, that seems like a technicality and not really be able to undo the anomaly of Miles' existence as a Spider-Man. Of course, it's also possible that Miguel's interpretation of the rules of the web and life and destiny are not sacrosanct, and that rather than Miles being the exception, the anomaly, the mistake, the Spider-Verse might be stronger if more spider people were bitten by spiders from other dimensions, because it would make them responsible not just for their homes, but other neighboring universes. One thing we've learned about these movies is that sometimes folks just have to live in multiple worlds at once. And so maybe by defeating Prowler Miles in the next movie, the solution could be to save him by getting him bitten by a radioactive spider from another universe. And since this movie established Spider-Verse canon events, as Andrew Garfield Peter Parker mourning the death of Captain Stacy from the 2012 Amazing Spider-Man film, and Tobey Maguire Peter Parker greeting Cliff Robertson Uncle Ben's death in that movie, two universes we know are linked to the MCU by Spider-Man No Way Home. And a spot in this movie visited Mrs. Chen from Venom, a universe this movie labels Earth 688, and we also, of course, got a live-action MCU actor, Donald Glover, in an animated world. It's just inevitable that Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to leave us with a live-action Miles Morales who can exist in the MCU. Now, my Easter egg breakdown of this film is coming this weekend on the main New Rockstars channel, with more videos and explanations to come beyond that. Subscribe to the deep dive, though, for deeper analyses, including my live... I made a video proposing that the MCU deserves neither. Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Boss, and this is a breakdown of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, a heartbreaking and stunningly animated sequel to 2018's Into the Spider-Verse, a movie filled with Easter eggs, cameos, and incredible attention to detail. I'm going to break this movie down frame by frame to point out a ton of details that you might have missed, and I revisited and broke down the 2018 film for dozens of new details, and I hosted a live stream of Across the Spider-Verse on the Deep Dive channel. So subscribe to the Deep Dive and support us with a Miles Morales Multiverse Dive shirt over at nerdriot.shop. And whoa, hey, look at that. I'm already wearing it right now. I'm gonna wear this shirt until I'm bleeding from my armpits. Okay, over the opening glitching logos for Sony, Columbia Pictures, and Marvel, there is a brief Miles from his name tag in the 2018 film that he slapped on everything. And the Lord and Miller logo has their crest glitching to an old-timey fine mustaches ad with the faces of the producers themselves. And as with the 2018 film, we actually open with the approved by the Comic Code Authority stamp, which was put on comics covers in the 50s to reassure parents that the comics wouldn't glorify crime or corrupt their kids' minds. We open with Gwen Stacy, this time framing this sequel equal as much her story as it is Miles's. She says, let's do things differently this time, telling Miles' story third person instead of the first person perspective of the introductions in the first film. We see the selfie of Gwen and Miles that she had on her phone in the last film, where you can actually see Peter B. Parker's legs stretched out between the bus seats behind them. This was on their bus ride back, the first time they really connected. And we see Gwen drumming as a member of her band, the Mary Janes, setting up the wild drum solo music that we hear over the closing minutes of the movie as Gwen reassembles her new band. But during Gwen's solo here, we see flashes of Miles' life from the first film, but also his upcoming battles with Miguel and the Spot. So really, this kind of serves as an overture or a prologue for the events to come. This is Gwen's home universe, Earth 65, and the animators designed it to have a pastel watercolor aesthetic. It looks so great. The paint strokes flood into each other, a contrast to the harder lines and boundaries of the other realities. On the subway, Miles appears in the windows, recalling the 2018 film when Stan Lee appeared as an angelic presence on passing trains, which really hit hard back then because it was just a few weeks after Stan died. Gwen remembers before Miles when there was her Peter Parker. This Peter is voiced by Jack Quaid. In her flashbacks, Gwen has longer hair because this was before Miles stuck his hand to her hair and she had to shave it. Gwen flashes through several meals that she, Peter, George, and Aunt May prayed before, including one that might be Halloween. Peter dresses as a dinosaur or a lizard, Gwen in a traffic cone shirt, George is a cowboy, and they're all eating, what is that? Bagels! This is the cursed food that led to the Spot, and in 2022 became the symbol for the multiverse with everything everywhere all at once. The bully that roughs up Earth 65 Peter isn't Flash Thompson, it's Ned. As in the Spider-Gwen comics, this Peter becomes a lizard, thus his Halloween costume, which we actually saw at the end of Gwen's backstory in the 2018 film. And then we hear the voice of J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson reporting, Captain George Stacy is leading the manhunt for Spider-Woman. Simmons voices J. Jonah Jameson in several different realities in this movie, including the Lego universe later. This guy is a freaking Nexus being, I'm telling you. In the Stacy family home, Gwen is watercolor painted blue and an otherwise pink wash, showing her depression. Her room, her sanctuary, is also blue like she is, but her dad, in orange and fuchsia, wears a faded Visions Gymnastic Academy sweatshirt, suggesting he might have once done cheer and probably coached Gwen's acrobatics when she was young. He's a good papa. Gwen has replaced her teal ballet slippers with teal Chuck Taylors, which she reportedly got from Hobie Brown, so I don't know, maybe they met before Gwen teams up with Miguel and Jess in the Spider Society. When Gwen hugs her dad, the blueness of her room warms into pink watercolors. Sometimes that's all it takes to change your whole world. Above Gwen's door is a sign reading, Protect Trans Kids, and some of you are mad now. And if that pisses you off, feel free to stop watching. I don't need reviews. Spider-Gwen webs up her dad.
So, how's the manhunt for me going?
Yeah, she lowers her voice just like Miles does when he is masked and he talks to his dad.
Thank you for your bravery.
Now, the Vulture she fights glitched here from another universe, and he's named Adriano Tumino instead of Adrian Toomes, voiced by Jorma Taccone. His design and his sepia color tone and his papery texture is based on Leonardo da Vinci's sketches. I like how when he fires weapons, Da Vinci scribbles and instructions appear around him. He lands in front of the Jeff Koons retrospective exhibit. This is a real exhibit at the Guggenheim with balloon animal fixtures made from stainless steel. So basically, this is a Renaissance-era artist disgusted with postmodernism. It's just kind of an art joke. He says, which translates to Bye Girl on the screen, but Gwen is saved by Miguel O'Hara, voiced by Oscar Isaac, Spider-Man 2099 from Earth 928, who first appeared in the 2018 film post-credit scene. Gwen says,
I'm sorry, who exactly are you supposed to be?
Isn't it obvious?
The Blue Panther.
That's funny.
The Caped Blue Satyr?
yes, Blue Panther reference to Black Panther with similar claws, Caped Blue Satyr reference to Batman, Caped Crusader with similar brooding. When he's introduced with this comic, it lands on the stack of the comics of all the other Spider people we've met, including all the ones in the first film in the order that we met them. I just like how this stack is cumulative. Miguel shames her and the others for breaking the multiverse in the last movie, and then he says,
He started on Doctor Strange and the little nerd back on Earth 1999-99.
Who's Doctor Strange? Sounds like he maybe shouldn't practice medicine.
yes, Earth 199-999 has in the past been the numerical designation for the MCU films and the shows, but this was thrown into question when Christine Palmer called it 616 in Multiverse of Madness. I made a video proposing that the MCU deserves neither designation. Vulture reassembles his wing, and Miguel complains, he's got hammer space. And then we see an editor's note text window popping up, defining it as an infinite extra-dimensional storage area for cartoon hammers and the like. This is calling back Spider-Ham's mallet gift to Miles that he said could fit into any pocket and not take up any space. Miguel's digital assistant is Lila, voiced by Greta Lee, and she calls in Spider-Woman Jessica Drew, voiced by Issa Rae. Her yellow goggles match the shape of her yellow eyepieces in the comics. Overall, she has the red, black, and yellow color scheme like she does. And yes, she is pregnant.
Are you,
Oh, this? We don't know the sex yet. My husband wants it to be a surprise. He's really corny. But
so hot.
Jessica Drew is pregnant in the comics leading up to the Secret Wars event, and we do not meet her husband in this movie. Presumably we will meet this interesting character in the third movie, Beyond the Spider-Verse, coming next year. Now, when the Vulture falls, he hits a beam, and then text says, "Notte notte," which is Italian for night night, and the three of them stop the helicopter from crashing over the bystanders, and one looks up at it and says, "Yeah, I think it's a Banksy," which is a callback to the same exact soundbite from the 2018 film, The Vocal Cameo by Post Malone.
Yeah, I think it's a Banksy.
So Captain Stacy holds his daughter at gunpoint, and she unmasks herself, and the watercolor brushstrokes smear down behind them, just a cool way of showing their whole world melting. Miguel and Jess invite Gwen out of pity to join the Spider Society, and they leave through these hexagonal portals, hexagons being a recurring shape in the MCU to show rifts through space and through dimensions. So on to Earth 1610, Brooklyn. There's a food cart for Mother Shuckers. I love it. We follow this Spot, voiced by Jason Schwartzman, as he robs the ATM of a bodega. As he passes the bodega register, it reads, "Game over!" So the Spot peels off one of his oozy ink dots to try to open a portal into this ATM, but he fails. At one point, he runs his own hand to the side and he hurts his knuckles. But when he finally reaches in, notice how the $100 bill has a different face than Benjamin Franklin? Thought this might be director Joaquin Dos Santos, I'm not exactly sure. And in addition to calling it an ATM machine, the Spot says PIN number, which is also redundant since N stands for number already. Now, Miles cuts away from this to recap the past year. The sequel, I believe, is set 1 year and 4 months after the first movie. Among the villains he fights appears to be the Marvel villain Leapfrog. He says he hosted Jeopardy with categories including arachnidiums, spider sense and sensibility, the wide web world, and Thwibbit. We learn he endorsed baby powder, which is a callback to Peter B. Parker's advice in the first film to use baby powder to get in and out of the suit. Then he has to apologize in a YouTube video. And then we see Miles adding to his No Expectations wall art mural all of his friends from the 2018 film. I love how throughout this movie, Uncle Aaron keeps coming back and back and back just to remind us how important he is to Miles' life and set up the big twist in the final act of this movie. This fight with the Spot causes him to be late to his parent-teacher conference, flying through portals in the background and catching a goose, which is a callback to when Miles got stuck to 2 pigeons in the first movie. And when they fly through a blue portal, following them is another bagel, the symbol of Jonathan Owen's pain and his rage toward Miles. I like how on Jefferson's phone text history, he wrote in all caps, "This is imporkage," and then he tried to correct Inforfkent, and then finally gets it right, important. Miles fights with the Spot on a rooftop, dodging his punches and kicks, at one point squeezing between a punch and a kick, essentially threading the needle. I love it. Miles pats the Spot on the head, and red text reads, "Good cow," because with all the spots, he looks like a Dalmatian and a cow. And then Miles and the Spot tumble into the Foam Party Cafe, having a literal foam party with all the suds and bubbles and that goose squawking around. This is the same cafe that Jefferson pointed out at the beginning of the 2018 film, the one with the long line, as the neighborhood was being gentrified. Miles returns to his Brooklyn Visions Academy dorm room, where his roommate remains, Ganke Lee, who is Miles' buddy in the Ultimate Comics, but this character in the 2018 film had all of his dialogue cut. The character has now been given lines and aged up in physique and in voice.
I'm not your guy in the chair.
Are those my Jordans?
I can't help it if we're the same size.
Guy in the chair, a reference to Ned Leeds, Jacob Batalon's character in the MCU, being Tom Holland, Peter Parker's guy in the chair in Spider-Man Homecoming, and the character of Ned in the MCU was really just based off of Ganke Lee from the Ultimate Comics. Now, Ganke Lee is voiced in this movie by Peter Sohn, director of Pixar's Elemental, and is also the voice of Socks in Pixar's Lightyear, since one of the co-directors of this movie is Kent Powers, director of Pixar's Soul. I like how they just keep it in the family, even though Peter Sohn's Elemental is going to be in direct competition with Across the Spider-Verse in the month of June at the box office. At the end of the day, all these animators just love and respect each other. I love it. So Miles finally arrives at the parent-teacher conference, where his teacher is voiced by Rachel Dratch.
Miles's grades are pretty good. A in AP Physics.
That's my little man.
And a B in Spanish.
What?
Ooh, okay.
Miles.
Are you trying to
Mira,
kill
eso
your
es
mother?
imposible.
I love how Jefferson tries to place that cat-themed desk ornament back together, but he fails. The teacher's eyes just start over, but she just keeps talking anyway. It's kind of like in Iron Man 2 when Tony Stark obsesses over that thing on his desk. We learn that Miles is excelling at AP Physics because, like the MCU Peter Parker, it just helps any Spider-Man to know physics and trajectories and motion. But Miles B in Spanish is met with outrage from his Puerto Rican mother, and when she snaps, it forms a little Puerto Rican flag, like the sting of his mother's snap hits him with the full might of his Puerto Rican heritage. So Miles leaves the guidance counselor's office to rejoin his fight with the Spot, which tumbles into Wilson Fisk's old Alchemex Collider site, the location of the showdown of the 2018 film, but it's now under construction with this canopy made of reflected panels, reminding me of the dome that was constructed over the Chernobyl site. Based on this "Pardon Our Mess" sign, it looks like Alchemex are the ones actually cleaning it up. Maybe they're continuing to have some nefarious plans here. Like, you would think the government would be like, you guys aren't allowed anywhere near this. So the Spot explains his his backstory, and we see the Earth-42 spider that bit Miles, but in its Earth-42 reality, right before it left, it was going to bite alternate Miles. You can see his hair in braids. This is foreshadowing the Miles we see in the third act of the movie, The Big Twist, telling us that in that reality, it was not just love and respect each other. I love it. So Miles finally arrives at the parent-teacher conference, where his teacher is voiced by Rachel Dratch.
Miles's grades are
The panels reminding me of the dome that was constructed over the Chernobyl site. Based on this "Pardon Our Mess" sign, it looks like Alchemex are the ones actually cleaning it up. Maybe they're continuing to have some nefarious plans here. Like, you would think the government would be like, you guys aren't allowed anywhere near this. So the Spot explains his backstory, and we see the Earth-42 spider that bit Miles, but in its Earth-42 reality, right before it left, it was going to bite alternate Miles. You can see his hair in braids. This is foreshadowing the Miles we see in the third act of the movie, The Big Twist, telling us that in that reality, it was not going to be a Peter Parker who got bit, it was going to be a Miles Morales. The Spot reveals that he was the one who got struck with that hilarious bagel action word. I love that they brought this guy back. So between Owen being the source of Spider-42 coming into 1610 and Miles being the source of the bagel incident, they really did create each other. The Spot trips and he kicks himself in the butt through a portal. It looks like one of the pieces on his desk. We learn that Miles is excelling. Reality, it was not going to be a Peter Parker who got bit, it was going to be a Miles Morales. The Spot reveals that he was the one who got struck with that hilarious bagel action word. I love that they brought this guy back. So between Owen being the source of Spider-42 coming into 1610 and Miles being the source of the bagel incident, they really did create each other. The Spot trips and he kicks himself in the butt through a portal. It looks like one of the pieces from debris from the hex tiles kind of looks like the rectangular USB drive from the first film. The trip mirrors Miles tripping on his shoelaces when he was running across the rooftop for his jump test. That is what broke the USB drive, and it kind of was the embarrassment early in his arc that motivated the rest of his story. So similarly for the Spot in this movie, his embarrassment here is really what unlocks the next stage of his hero's journey. He finds himself in this inky hole realm where all the dark matter has left his body, creating all these portals into the multiverse. The first he looks into is this classic animation universe from the 1940s with Ben Day dots. There's a woman in a black and white polka dot blouse who hits him with her purse, her blouse matching the pattern of his skin. On the cinema marquee is a movie titled The Tall Man, coming soon. Then he looks into the Lego universe, calling back Lord Miller's work on the Lego movies. We'll come back to this one. Then he drops by Chinatown of Earth 688 with Ms. Chen from Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage.
What do you want? I'm robbing you because I'm a bad guy.
I love how unfazed Ms. Chen is. And the brand of gum he steals, if you look closely, is Brock's Venomint, a reference to Eddie Brock, Venom. And this establishes Sony's Venom movies as Universe 688 and their system of organizing this. Spot looks at his hands and says, "The power of the multiverse in the palm of my hand," a nod to Doc Ock's line in Spider-Man 2 in 2004.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
Which he echoes in Spider-Man No Way Home.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
Back in the Legoverse, we see a text box, which is actually in the shape of a red Lego brick, labeling this Earth 13122. This Peter Parker is voiced by Nick Novicki. There's a Lego J. Jonah Jameson in this Daily Bugle office, and they use J.K. Simmons' audio from the 2002 Sam Raimi film when he says,
"Tomorrow morning, Spider-Man, page 1 with a decent picture this time."
So back in 1610, Miles cannot flip when he's carrying cake boxes, so he has to ride a crowded train. I don't like Tobey Maguire Peter Parker trying to pizza time in Spider-Man 2 and having to take the elevator afterward. Miles has to hop off the track to quickly zap the villain, the Armadillo, and then Miles foils a thief stealing Nikes. He passes a bunch of gawkers, including this smiling dumbass with glasses. This is an aged up version of that goofy student who smiles at Miles in the Visions Academy in the first film. Miles shows up late with the cakes to the rooftop party, having changed into his basketball jersey, number 42, Miles' number. The cakes are now wrecked. His heartfelt messages spelling out just, "I'm not," and then proud. Jeff and Rio complain that Genki calls them by their first name, so later when Gwen does it, they really cringe. Miles refers to his friends Peter and Wanda using Gwen's fake name that she gave him in the first film. Miles returns to his room where boxing gloves hang by the door, again reminding us of his boxing lessons with Uncle Aaron. There's also a Michelle Obama campaign sticker suggesting that in 1610 she was the Obama who held, or at least sought, public office. Whereas before it was Sunflower, the hot track of this sequel is Hummingbird by Metro Boomin and James Blake, which Miles chills out to here. Remember, the 2018 film ended with Miles listening to Post Malone's Sunflower as Gwen opened that portal over his bed and asked if he has a minute, and this scene picks up with a similar moment, just like that. But a year has passed since the events of the first film, and notice how throughout this movie, Miles has been aged up a bit. A longer face.
Doing Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse breakdown, Easter eggs. Plus I got this. You already know. You look bored as fuck. On
He's a bit
some real
taller
shit.
and he has longer hair.
I'm
Floating
just
around
like,
his room is a bunch of trading cards
waiting
with
till
these
there's
red and
get a
white
lot
balls
of
on them.
people in
These are
this.
for Teriyakimon, the 1610 version of Pokemon. And when they're sitting on the bed, floating past is a framed photo of Miles with his uncle Aaron, his mentor figure, who was shot by Kingpin in the 2018 film. And on Miles' shelf is an RC Spider-Mobile, which 1610 Peter had a life-size version of in the 2018 film. And above that, the specific photo of Miles' dad Jefferson and his brother Aaron that Jefferson had as his phone background, and this exact photo was framed in
Let's
Aaron's
see,
apartment.
let's
So this is
see.
probably something Miles.
Why the fuck is it not working? Okay, there we go. It should work. Let's do a weed challenge. Let's do a challenge real quick. Hey, thank you for subscribing, bro. I appreciate that shit, bro. Let me put on real quick. Let me see. Let me see what does real quick. Okay. Which one should I watch? Ah, shit. Hold up. Better put the internet on. For some reason it doesn't work. Navi. What? Damn it. Because I gotta restart it, bro. Can you do a pen spin? Grab a cheap pen or pencil? I gotta I won't work with a pen or pencil. Fuck.
Do you want to be the coolest ninja in class, the office wizard, or just have a fun skill to work on while you're bored at home? Then follow along with me in this video, and in only 5 minutes, I am going to teach you 3 super cool pen spinning tricks you can learn right now. Focus. Awesome. Grab a pen or an unsharp pencil and let's get started learning number 1, the thumb around. Now it's easy to grasp the concept of this move simply without a pen or a pencil at first. Just take your palm, supinate it, which means turn it towards the sky. Then what I want you to do is take your middle finger and your thumb and put the tips together. Now you can do a simple snap motion like you would be snapping your fingers at someone. The motion you are going to use to achieve the thumb around is very similar to that simple snap. The only difference is you may want to have your middle finger slightly more towards the side of your thumb, as so. Now when you're ready, just like I'm doing in this example, you want to grab your pen or pencil and hold it towards the front third. This is so when it spins over your thumb, you'll be able to grab it rather than it flying off. Now with your pen in hand and your palm towards the sky, you want to do that same snapping motion with the middle finger towards the side of the thumb, allowing your pen to rotate over your thumb. Now a reason for this not going smoothly, if you're not doing this naturally already, pay attention. You may notice that my index finger points downwards as I do my snap. This allows for the pen to spin over my thumb and then clear its way back into my grip. So if you notice you're hitting your index finger when your pen's coming around, you want to consciously point your index finger down as you snap your middle finger up to the side, allowing that clearance in that pen to come through. Work on this and go slow at first. It actually doesn't have to be too aggressive to get this pen to spin around, as long as you're holding it towards the front third of the pen. It feels super cool and looks super cool.
Oh my gosh. Dude, that shit crazy.
I remember when I saw this one done by my friend Robin in 12th grade.
Almost had it, dude. Almost fucking had it.
Fuck. Pay attention. Okay. Number 2, the Sonic. Now take your pen or pencil and hold it in between the ring finger and the middle finger at about the middle of the pen or pencil. To understand the primary motion you want to achieve, you can simply take the bottom or top of your pen or pencil and rotate it in a circle as so. Now to understand the part that will blow people's mind, the pass, but can be easily achieved just by breaking it down. Now as you're doing that spinning motion by grabbing the top or bottom of the pencil, as the bottom of your pencil reaches towards the outside of your pinky, you want to duck the middle finger, allowing the bottom of the pencil to pass over the middle finger into the gap between the index finger and the middle finger. So you're going from between the middle finger and ring finger over to between the index finger and the middle finger, just as so.
What?
Now, in order to achieve this spinning momentum, we need to learn the simple flick. Place your pen or pencil back between your ring finger and middle finger. You want to then take the pen or pencil and place the bottom of it above the webbing between your thumb and index finger. From here, work on this simple flick that I'm showing, flicking it off of the webbing between the thumb and index finger. You want to use this flick to generate momentum into your spin. At first you can work on just flicking the pen into the basic spin we showed in the first step to this move. Then when ready, you want to fully attempt the pass. Flick the pen, and as the bottom of the pen reaches around to the side of the pinky, you want to duck the middle finger, allowing the pen to pass over the middle finger into the gap between the middle and index finger, as so. It is super trippy, but looks super cool.
What the fuck?
The Sonic. Finally, number 3. There may be an official name for this, but I am calling it Over the Top. You can start by taking your pen or pencil and holding it
Smoke, no smoke.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? Dope is Yola here. Hope you have a dope ass day. Welcome back to another video. Before we get started, guys, do me a favor. Leave a like, subscribe, notification bell. We get unsubscribed on this channel. YouTube is... Just subscribe. We appreciate you guys. Today, we're going to be doing a review. We have so many flavors coming to the Dopa Shop. But today, I'm not alone. Other camera. This is John Hashhouse, the other owner, one of the other owners of thedopashop.com. Thank you for coming.
Sure, thanks for having me.
He's already high, so we're trying our best to keep him under control. He's eating all the stuff we're supposed to show. There's little bites out of everything back here. There's little baby.
You can't see it though, it's fine.
There's a lot of stuff we got to show you guys today, all right? But today I decided, why not have John come here and have to smoke all of these with me, because all of these are a different flavor. Those are not repeated, guys. These are all different flavors to thedopashop.com. And right here, guys, are brand new batteries from the Dopa Shop. But before we get into that, guys, we have an announcement. Thedopashop.com is doing a collaboration with John, with Hash House. Even though he's part of the company, it's a different company. So we have something coming very soon, something I don't think anyone's ever done. John, please explain to what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen back here with these cookies?
They're gonna have 15 milligrams of live rosin from Hash House and 5 milligrams of CBD. And they're still shippable to your door.
Legally.
Legally.
This is not a trap thing.
We're gonna have 10 of them in one package. So I have 200 milligram package, 10 cookies. That's gonna knock you straight to the moon.
Guys, let's just say this. John's Hash House is gonna be in our Dopa Shop edibles, right? These cookies are being produced. We're not fully done with the packaging, so we don't wanna show you the packaging yet. Let me just say, Rosie, we came over to John's yesterday.
She was done.
Rosie ate like 150 milligrams and then slept until nighttime. Woke up at like 10 and started working because she missed the whole day. I was high as hell. Tone right here behind the camera doesn't know how high he looks. He still looks fucked up from yesterday.
He does, for sure.
So guys, this is a huge announcement, all right? Shippable legally, all right? Legally. Hash House rosin inside of our new edibles. Get ready. I'm gonna eat some more of these cookies real quick because I'm fucking hungry.
What flavors you got over there? You can tell me what we got.
Lemon, chocolate chip, peanut butter. And thank you to all the people that made this video happen. Before we get started, let me say this. Stop being a jerk to your homies. Every one of you did not know how to use a bong at first. Were you born and were like, yeah, you know what? Rip it. No, you weren't, all right? I did not know how to roll a joint. I didn't know how to roll a blunt. I couldn't take a dab. We all start somewhere. It's like being a senior and going, stupid freshman. You were a freshman 3 years ago. Never forget where you came from, fool. Teach people, don't bash people. So I get this in my DMs all the time, like, yo, my homies make fun of me all the time. I cannot cannot clear the bong. Only one of my friends that can't roll a joint. That's why I did how to roll a joint. That's why I did how to use a bong. Most people go, I don't know how to use a dab. I feel like I'm taking it too hot. That's why I did how to take a dab. I want to teach people, okay? So remember, teach, don't bash. If you want to tease your homie a little bit, that's your homie. I see people actively make fun of people online like it's a bully thing because they don't know about certain weed stuff. Just remember, not everybody's as cool as you, fool. So just chill out, go smoke by yourself, and let all of us learn. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. This video is for people out there that need the help, all right? We're not all experts, we're not all professionals, potheads. So if you want more homies to smoke with and more people to support this community, stop bashing them and teach them. I'm not sure exactly what the title is yet, but I figured let's do a weed episode and I teach you how to do everything. If you don't know how to roll a joint, boom, this thumbnail. I have 2 different videos, a couple million on them. I appreciate you guys. Every time I go to a store, like, thanks for teaching me how to roll a joint. All the meet and greets, like, you showed me how to roll a joint. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. I feel like the Bob Ross of the 2000s. Like, just a little tree here, just a little bush. So, positivity, guys. Let's produce more of it. Another thing, how to use the bong, okay? I did that video. I didn't think anybody was gonna really need it. Turns out America needed it. Most people that don't like bongs or are scared of bongs don't know how to hit them right. Yes, there's a technique for bongs, and I have the perfect technique to make any single person that doesn't like bongs a bong lover. And thirdly, guys, I don't think I've done this one mainly because it's really easy, but I did do a video on how to make these 3 or 4 years ago with Young Mike. Thumbnail over the screen, how to make pipes and bongs at home. I started off smoking the day before the Raiders got beat by the Bucks in the Super Bowl, and I smoked out of a crushed Mountain Dew can my sister made with a safety pin, and she poked holes in it, and we smoked out of the pipe. So I was making bong pipes and can pipes from 13 to 18. All right, we all done it, and if you haven't done that, you're very, very lucky, and I'm excited for you that you got to skip that part of life. But for those of you that are out there right now doing that, I'm just gonna show you how to use a pipe, all right? It doesn't matter if you make your pipe or you have a little $10 pipe or a $100 pipe. It doesn't matter. I just wanna show you how to roast these, how to hit these, to enjoy weed. I see people die taking bong rips and doesn't seem fun. So for everyone out there that's never seen this channel, welcome to the channel. My name is Dope as Joe. I've been doing this for a decade now. I've been teaching fools for about 5 years. So I would really like it if you left a like. It would help support the channel. It would go everywhere. If you have friends that don't know how to use these things, or maybe they do use them, they just could use a little different technique. Just take it from me. I know what I'm doing. Okay, let's start this off super simple. This is a pipe. It doesn't matter what kind of pipe you have, as long as it has a carb, a mouthpiece, and where you light it, that's all you're gonna need for this part. So I got this right here. Yes, guys, this is a glass crushed can pipe. It's pretty sick. It's pretty dope. I kept it. It's one of the few things I just had to keep around because look at that. It just reminded me of being 13 again. This is where I got a Mountain Dew can, my grandma's backyard. Fun times. For every one of you pothead ass fools out there, they're like, Thomas, are you really showing us how to do that? This might not be for you, and that's okay. Just, you know, don't watch it, or just watch it and support the channel, or just shut up, it's fine. So these holes right here, I know this sounds crazy. I know it sounds like you're showing how to pack a bowl. Yeah, there's a technique to packing bowls, okay? Here we go. Also, this is some Jack Herrera. I haven't heard or seen Jack Herrera in 12 years. This is a beautiful ass nug, and I rarely use that term, all right? This is immaculate. This looks like a magazine. So that's what we're smoking today, all right? Let's bring it back to me being 14 and let's smoke some Jack. Since this is for beginners, you probably don't have Hempwick, but I suggest you get Hempwick. Bam, over the screen. It helps with bowls, it helps the taste. No lighter fluid while you're smoking bowls. That's the best thing for Hempwick. I forgot my Hempwick lighter at my house, so let's just say, if you're a beginner, you probably don't have Hempwick, perfect. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm gonna show you. See this nug? Some people would throw that nug, pack it down with their thumb in a bowl, and start roasting it. And if you're one of those fools, please stop. My homie Matt used to do that. I cannot stand it. I hate looking at it. It's like cooking a steak with a blowtorch, just crushing the top only. Bro, you're ruining what could be. Not ruining the high, or maybe you're still getting full off the steak, but you're ruining what could have been. You're ruining what could have been from the taste. So let's just do it my way, and if you don't like it, continue burning your bowls. I'm not smoking it. So This nug right here should break down to like 2 or 3 bowls. I'm just gonna say it right now. Look how small, split it in half. I'm gonna break this down. I do finger grind. I don't like to use the grinder. When it comes to bowls, it gets too fine and you start tasting the stems. I don't know why. I mean, I guess you could de-stem it, but for some reason it never tastes the same. So look, I grinded up that baby half nug, right? Look how much weed is on my pipe. I covered the entire bowl. Here we go. Very simple steps. There's a carb on the side. And if there's no carb, what you have, sir, is like a steamroller. I don't know what you would call a pipe with no carb. A bong? I don't know, but a carb is the carburetor. Carburetor, right here, the little hole that you put on the side of the pipe. You ever see people hit a pipe and they go... What they're doing is once they let that thumb off, now all the air can be sucked out. Because right here, the air is staying in and building up when you have the hole right there. So when your thumb's on the hole, it's building up the smoke. Basically, imagine a bomb. You're building the smoke by hitting it, right? And as soon as you pull the bowl, you clear it. You ever see people go and hit the bong? That's the same thing. You're pulling the bowl, hitting the pipe. It's the best way I can explain it. So what you're gonna wanna do, guys, this is for beginners, right? Lighter upside down means you burn the dog shit out of your fingers. I have burned blisters on my thumb before, just doing this. We've all been there, trying to light a bowl like this, and you burn your thumb off, right? Here we go. Start practicing. Pointer finger keeps it away from you, and you can light it. Never burns you. Pointer finger, no more thumb. No upside down, always from the side. Just throwing it out there, okay? I know these are little steps, but these are little steps you have to just find over time. And if you're a beginner, it's gonna take you a lot of finger burning, and I hope we can just expedite that no finger burning process. Once again, I know this is kind of wild, but this is very, very beginner stuff. Keep your thumb on the carb. Keep your thumb on the side while you light it. And once you light it, this is the key to breathing. If you can breathe in for 20 seconds, right? But what happens if you're breathing in smoke? It's gonna be a little more difficult. Let's cut it to like 15 seconds. So for the first 10 seconds, you wanna be roasting. And I'm not saying rip it for 20 seconds. I'm just giving you examples. Say it's 5, rip it for 2 seconds. Half of your breath should be building it, and it should be this. Half of your lung power. You'll know how much you can breathe, you know what I mean? So as soon as you get about halfway, let go of that carb and then clear it. This is people's most problem. Hit that as hard as you can, and then they roast it. And they're at like 90% lung capacity, and then they take the finger off the carb and go, and they start dying. And why did they start coughing and dying? Because they were at 90% of their breath was gone, and then they tried to clear it. Clearing it has more smoke than building it up. I know these examples are kind of odd, just stay with me here. So what you wanna do is 50% of your lung power should be filling it up. 50% of it should be clearing it. You wanna look like a pro, right? You wanna look like you know what you're doing for all the beginners out there. I mean, it's not a contest, it's not a cool thing, but for some people out there, it's self-conscious, like, yo, my friends just make fun of me all day. I'm the only one that can't do it. For all those fools out there, chill, all right? All your homies can eat a dick. Don't trip. You're smoking to smoke. You're not smoking for them, so chill, all right? So 50% build, 50% clear. Let's hit this once. One other thing, light this bowl from the sides. Remember when you were a kid and you drop a coin in that barrel and it does a spin for like 10 minutes, then it finally goes to the middle? That's how you wanna light your bowl every single time. Because once you light the middle, what happens? The middle gets sucked in and the outside stays not lit. Mainly on bongs, but for pipes, happens too. So what you're gonna wanna do is clear it. You see this flame? The blue part shouldn't be touching your weed. That's how far away you wanna stay. I'm not saying the blue is bad at all. I'm saying you don't wanna be like this, shoving it into the bowl. So what you wanna do is get your flame above the bowl, right above the bowl, and your breath should suck the flame in. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't wanna push your flame in, you wanna put it right above, and then your breath should draw in your flame. I'm a damn teacher out here. Oh my God, that was a good example. Okay, here we go. Super easy, right? Like, that was a cool little hit, but do you see what I'm saying? I hit it for a couple seconds, I let my finger go, and then I cleared it. Didn't die coughing because I wasn't super out of breath. So what I'm gonna do is pack a little bit more so we can actually hit it, and I'm gonna roast it. I'm gonna show you how to roast the bowl. And did you notice I went sideways? I didn't go upside down. Would have burned the shit out of my finger. So what I'm gonna do right now is show you something. Every time my thumb is coming off the pipe, I'm clearing the whole pipe, and then I'm hitting it again. Another tip, everyone out there that's ever heard the cherry, don't let the cherry go out. The cherry means the burning weed. That's all it means. When it's lit, it looks like a cherry because it's red. That's all it is. It's a slang term. People are like, yo, hit that, keep the cherry going. Cherry means don't let it go out. It's like I said, remember, every time my thumb comes off of there, I'm clearing the pipe. So that's one hit. I can rip this thing a lot, but I'm gonna show you like build, 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 release, clear it. Build, 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 release, clear it. You shouldn't do it in the same breath. I'm gonna show you in the same breath because I can smoke a lot. But for you at home, just try it. You'll feel the, every time you take your thumb off, it's like a slap in the face. It's awesome. So here we go, guys. Roast it. See how much fatter of a hit that was? It's because I cleared it 3 times. You don't have to do that. You can just hit it once. It doesn't matter. That was easy. Keep your thumb on there while hitting. Let go when you want to clear it. It is as easy as that. That is pipes. That's as easy as it gets. There's no other method. That's it. Let me kill this bull. Damn. For some of you out there that notice I use my thumb, I know I told you not to. It's just because I'm really good with it. I can use the same direction. See what I'm saying? As long as that thing's not going toward my finger, I can use it. I'm just saying this for beginners so you can get the hang of it. Boom. Another slang tip term for all you fools out there that don't get it. This is another term that you're gonna hear a lot. Hey, that bull's cached. Cash that out. It's cached. Cash means that bull is smoked. Cached, I don't know where it came from. I heard it when I was like 12 years old. Cash, all it means is, yo, that bull is out. Dump the ashes out, or hey, it's out. I know it's stupid, but that's all it means, guys. That's it.
Clear ash.
Cash.
See?
Did you just fucking do that, Nikita? Cash, clear the ash. 20 years I've heard that, and I've never put that together, Nikita. Thank you. You learn. See, even during the learning, I learned. So don't think you're too cool to learn, man. All right, that was the hand pipe. Yours may not look like this. Yours may be an actual can. Doesn't matter. Same steps, same everything, even if it's a little one-hitter pipe that you have at your homies. Also, one thing I should mention, if you're at home and your pipe is just a small pipe and it doesn't have a carb, it's still fine, all right? You just rip those as hard as you can. There is no carburation. There's nothing. It's just rip it as hard as you can. Those are called one-hitters because if you hit it once. You just rip them and that's it. So that was step way of smoking number 1, whatever you want to call it. Hand pipes, dry pipes is what they're called in the stores because they don't use water like a bong. It's called a dry pipe. All these terms I hope help you out. Let's move on to the next. All right, guys, on to step number 2, way number 2, whatever you want to call it. This is the bong. This is the water pipe. If you call it a water pipe, I'm gonna slap you in your mouth. Somebody told me that at Strawberry Alarm Clock in Merced, California. I went in, hey, how much is this bong? It's a water pipe. That's when he yelled at me. And I proceeded to go to Smoking Jay's and never step foot in Strawberry Alarm Clock. Hey, what's up YouTube? Dope as Yola here. Hope you're having a dope-ass day. Welcome back to the channel. Before the video starts, do me a huge favor. Guys, right now, if you're watching this video, whether you're watching on your phone, with your homies, you're at home, just go right below the screen, click the like button. It helps me so much. I'm really trying to get my views and the algorithm back because I have been age restricted since September. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for following. Thank you for supporting. Let's get started. Just so you don't think I'm a disgusting ass person, this bong had some water in it and I left it in my back room. I forgot about it and I went back and it evaporated. That you can see all the calcium stains. You can see how I forgot about this bong. And I know a lot of you are smoking out of a bong that looks just like this, but that's like the one you use every day. Please keep it clean. Mold does grow in bongs. It grows in water. I'm guilty of it too. I've hit dirty bong water in my own house. But once I realized like this is a health hazard, change your water every day, every other day. Just try to keep it clean. So for everyone out there that asks me every day, how do you keep your stuff clean? A couple years ago, I did how to clean your bong rig. Then a couple years later, I did how to clean your bong. One was on a phone, one was on an OK camera with no lighting and no sound. But we're back, and this is what I'm trying to do. I'm really trying to be on YouTube's good side right now. I'm trying my best not to cuss horribly. And also, you know the word bong is restricted on YouTube, so let's clean the hell out of this water pipe. And if you call it a water pipe instead of a bong, I might not like you in person. Let's get started. I'm gonna show you exactly how to keep this clean. This works every single time perfectly. So the first thing you're gonna need is salt. You guys ever see the table salt, the Morton's or the girl with the umbrella? Any kind of salt is gonna work. It has to be sea salt or table salt. Don't use rock salt. Don't use Epsom salt. Don't use pink Himalayan salt. And I had to say that because my last video, hella people told me they used rock salt and got stuck. Do not use rock salt. This is me telling you right now, table salt only. The next thing you need is extremely important, and you better listen up or you're gonna be pissed off trying to do this. You need alcohol. Yes, alcohol from the store, except it has to be a certain percentage. 50% alcohol might as well be water. 71%, same exact thing. If you're not getting 91% and up, you might as well live with a dirty bong. It is never gonna get clean with 71 or 50. This is 99% alcohol. You cannot buy this in the regular store. You can only get 91 in the store. You have to go to a grow shop, a farming place, or get this online. And if you follow my Snapchat, you know how many times I go, there's no alcohol in LA. Where can I find it? Shout out to my friend Adam Miller, all right? He has his own company, it's called Alcohol. Check it out. Thank you for blessing me. And the last thing you're gonna need is a disgusting ass bong. So let's get some close-ups on this bong. As you could see, it is horrible. You could see the calcium stains. You could see the nastiness. And if you look up close, this bowl might be the dirtiest bowl I've ever had in my possession. I left it soaking in alcohol and it got mixed up with all the other resin, and that's what happened. And right here is the downstem. Not as bad, but if you look up close, that is char, that's ash, and like I said earlier, I do not remember when I put this in my back room. We released these about 9 months ago. It could be 9-month-old dirty bong. With that being said, guys, and I know this is a very quick video, but there's not a lot to talk about. I want to show you exactly what you need to get this super clean, and you'll live with it forever. You'll have this knowledge till you die. So I showed you everything you're gonna need. Now let me show you how to do it. Let me show you how easy this is, and please, keep your bongs clean. First things first, take the bowl and the downstem out. Do not try to wash these together separate. So let's work on the biggest piece first. As you can see, I mean, it's bad. So first step, grab your salt. Usually I have the big jug and I just pour to a certain amount. So this is gonna be a little different eyeball. So real quick, let's get this unnecessary slow-mo shot of the salt. Honestly, I don't know how to eyeball this out, so I'm just gonna do the whole bucket. As you can see, it got stuck. I mean, an easier thing is just put it in this hole. I'm just dumb. And the next thing, guys, I got the salt in there. You could do salt or alcohol first. It does not matter. But sometimes when the salt gets stuck, I like to pour the alcohol in and it pushes it all through. So another unnecessary macro, this alcohol. So whatever you think you need is how much you need, because it's never been the measurement for me. I've never measured, 2 cups of alcohol and 5 tablespoons of salt, never. I guess it depends on how dirty is it. All right, that was 2 steps, right? Add the salt, add the alcohol. Step 3, you can get paper towels and shove it in here, whatever you want to do. I just put my finger like this, put my finger on top, and you just start shaking it. See how dirty it is right here? I shook it for 2 seconds, right? It already got the yellow off. So here we go, guys. Let's see if we can get this black stain off. I'm telling you, easiest thing you ever did. All right, I am making a mess. Let me clog this real quick. There's alcohol all over the floor. So right there, see how bad this was? It's starting to come clean. Honestly, I'm shocked it hasn't came clean yet, but I don't know if I've let a bong sit that long either. You can see all the funk floating. You see it? It's the only downfall is you look kind of dumb. It's like some shake weight bullshit. So guys, what I'm gonna do, since this is really stained, I'm gonna fill some more alcohol up, let it sit for a second. All right, just past the stain, let it sit. So the next step, you're gonna clean the downstem, clean the bowl. What you're gonna need, plastic bag. You can use any kind of Ziploc bag, it doesn't matter. What I like to do first, guys, I let hot water run through it because it's kind of hard to let hot water run through the whole bong. But on this, it starts to loosen shit up. So let that real hot water go through it. It'll clean out a lot of your downstem, but the bowl is a whole different story. This is not gonna be easy, guys. Put that in the plastic bag. Let's bust open another salt. Here we go. And we'll go like right there. Next up. So how this works, guys, make sure it's Ziploc, and I just grab it and start doing a little shake. See that? It's already starting to break up. See the dots? It's starting to break up the dirt. Oh, look at that side already. So what I do is I hold the actual bowl, hold the top, and then just start shaking. I'm trying to get the salt into it, you know what I'm saying? So grab that bowl, shove that into the pocket of the salt. So grab the bowl, make sure it's in the pocket of the salt, and start shaking. Because no matter what, you know the salt's in there. So we're gonna let that sit because it's terrible.
Whoa! Let's clean your grinder, bro! Ah!
Oh, wait, here's your props. You the shit, yeah, you.
Freeze it so your leftovers congeal. Let's go!
If you're working through it, here's your props. You the shit.
Put your metal parts in the bag, add in alcohol, 91%, and coarse salt. Yeah! agitate, and then let it soak for 2 hours. 2 hours! Woo! Use alcohol, or else you're gonna get hitchhikers, man. You gotta clean it thoroughly off. Perfect! No hitchhikers! Yes! Whoa! Let's clean your grinder!
Hold the top and then just start shaking. I'm trying to get the salt into it, you know what I'm saying? So grab that bowl, shove that into the pocket of the salt. So grab the bowl, make sure it's in the pocket of the salt, and start shaking. Because no matter what, you know the salt's in there. So we're gonna let that sit because it's terrible. So the next one, same exact thing. Put your down stem in there. Oh, way too much salt. Some alcohol going. This is a lot easier. This is the easiest part of cleaning the ball. Make sure it's closed. This is what I do. Inside, I grab it like that. Hold it so nothing just shoots it. You don't want alcohol hitting you in the mouth. Make sure that the tip isn't all the way at the bottom. See? Tip's not all the way at the bottom. There's a little room. And just start shaking. So when you do that, it makes sure that the salt is actually in there. And I'm plugging the other hole so the salt has to stay in the middle and it has to clean. Yes, I understand some shake weight stuff going on right now, but I want my ball clean. See that? This side's spotless already. So what I did is I flipped it upside down. Same thing, grab the ends and start shaking again. Let's check in on our bowl. Oh, look at that. Look at the funk started separating from the alcohol. Same thing, I grab the ends. I'm holding the bowl. This is what I like to do halfway through because this bowl's really, really bad. Let's run it through the hot water. It is starting to come out, but it's so clogged. Look how much water's stuck. That's because this is so clogged. And if you really want to expedite this process, do this. You grab a Q-tip. There it is, right there. Start gunking all that out. Look how much just popped out. Look at this. Let's go back in the bag. So there's the separation. It's like some science experiment. And now, leave that there. Let's go back to our down stem. Let's open it up and see what it looks like. Look at that. Look at it. Nice. But guys, that took me 5 minutes. Look how clean this is. Do this every other day and it'll be within seconds it'll come clean. All right, since this is really, really bad, I'm gonna take the bowl out and I'm put it in the down stem bag because I don't wanna waste all this. Here we go again. Oh, see what happens? See what happens? Salt and alcohol all over my floor. Go to the pockets of salt and try to scrub your bowl clean. It really helps, trust me. Look at that one chunk, it doesn't wanna go out. See how stubborn this is? This is one other trick I'll show you. Check this out. Plug the bowl right there. Pour some salt in the back end. Not like that. Do it good. Pour a little alcohol in there. A little more. Make sure your fingers plug in that bowl. See how it's stuck in there? Wash your hand off. See there's salt and alcohol in there now? Just shake it. So now the salt and alcohol's in there. So just keep shaking and it will eventually start to break. It wants to come out. I see it. It's almost there. Guys, I can't let this video go. I have to get this out. But look from what it was. Look at that one little piece hanging on. I get another Q-tip and see if we can get that out. One other thing that helps a lot is toothpicks. Toothpicks really help break stuff down. Oh, this little jerk. Yeah, it broke. Got it. Look at little glob. Since we got it all out, let's throw it back in the bag just to shine it up a little. Not hard at all. There it is, guys. Look at, a few minutes ago, this was disgusting. Back onto this thing. As you can see, just as we let it sit, it's starting to separate again, just like the bowl. All the gunk will float to the top, and we're just trying to clean all this little stuff right here. Do another shake weight round. Let it dump. So, since this is really bad and all the gunk's floating around, I'm gonna dump it all out, rinse it, and then I'm gonna fill it back up with salt and alcohol. There it is, there it is. So let's give this a rinse, guys, and let's go again. There we go. You know, I'm gonna dump this whole thing in there. I feel like that stain will come off. So I went alcohol first this time. Look at the problem. All the alcohol's on the bottom, salt stuck. All you gotta do is dump it back. The salt is the scrubber, the alcohol is what gets it clean. I gotta be honest, guys, this is stained. This is not coming off. I've never had anything not come clean with 99%. Wow, it is stained. So I'm just trying to pour all the salt up so I can do another downswing and hopefully get some of that scrubbed off. Did I just hit your lens?
It's okay.
So guys, this is a great bong I chose for the video because it is not easy. All right, let me show you the hardest bong you ever saw get clean, basically. Also, your house is gonna smell just like a doctor's office. It reeks. I mean, it smells clean, but it stinks. I want you to look. So as you can see, guys, there's some hard water stains. It's not coming all the way out. What I would do normally, I would let this soak and sit all night. This has never happened to me on a new bong. This water scum will not come out. So what I normally do is I fill it up for alcohol, salt, just like I did earlier. I'll let it sit all night. Letting it sit all night is the best way to get the water scum out, but we don't have all night. So from where we started, guys, look at this thing. Where's my downstem? Here it is. Here's the bowl. From where we started, I can see you through the bong. You know what I'm saying? This is night and day difference. But for everybody in the comments, yes, I'm slightly disappointed I did not get these off right away. I know it's for the video. Maybe I should have picked a slightly less disgusting bong, but this is a good test. This shows you if your bong's not this bad, yours is gonna be brand new. So guys, that's it. That's every step. This is super easy. For everyone out there that has glass, just try to keep it clean. Like I said, when the mold starts growing, that's when you get the lung infection. That's when you can't smoke. That's when you're like me. I got a lung infection off moldy weed. And it's been 5 years and it's still like, I can rip bongs, but I can't rip double bowls as much as I used to. So guys, be safe out there. You wouldn't drink out of a super moldy water bottle. Why are you inhaling mold? All right, did that help? Did that make you think a little different? So guys, please do me a favor. It's just a small thing from you, but it helps me a lot. Please press a like on the video. If you have a homie with a super dirty bong, just send them the link to this video. Say nothing else. And if they can't take that hint, bring your own bong to the session. All right, guys, thank you so much. This is the 2022 updated high-def version of How to Clean Your Glass. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for liking. Until next time, I'm Dope as Yola. Have a dope-ass day. Thank you to all the people that made this video happen. Thank you to all the people that made this video 3 times. You don't have to do that. How to use a bong, I'm just gonna do the quick steps, just the important things, and that's it. Have you ever seen somebody hit a bong? They fill it up and they go, oop. And they leave the smoke in there and they're like, oh. That smoke is stale. It is old. You don't want to smoke that smoke unless you are desperate. I'm not that desperate, bro. I don't care how desperate I am. That is stale smoke. That's like drinking warm, old liquor that's been outside. To me, I do not like stale smoke. It's disgusting. So that's why I built my technique around the bongs to hit it as hard, the fattest bowls at the quickest time, so it doesn't get stale. The longer the smoke stays, the worse it tastes. Right now, I bet you look at your bong. Some of you guys have like that yellow film layer. You ever see that? That's what I taste when the smoke gets stale, so that's why I try to go fast. Here we go, guys. Let's start from the very beginning. Water level, all right? It should go over your downstem. This right here, it's kind of dirty. It's called a downstem. You need that in order to smoke, unless you don't want water percolation, because you could do this and hit it, I guess, but it's not gonna really work that well. This connects to the water, which causes the smoke to go into the water and filtrate and come out. That's why bong rips are badass. Here's your bowl. You need that bowl. This right here is the thing that you can pull it out with. I don't like these on bowls. I truly don't use them because people like to just pull them. And some girl broke my brand new bong once, and that's why I'm afraid of them. So I don't use those. I'll turn it around and I always do this. You'll see me on every single bowl. I do this. Put fingers on the downstem, then I lift the bowl out. Why? Because you ever get stuck? You're like, and you're trying to clear it, and then this comes out with it? Oh, that's called the California roll. That's what it's called when it gets stuck. It's called a California roll. It's just a term of like, damn, you got played. Because once you take this out, it's a straight, there is no bong percolation. It's just it's like a straight tunnel. This is why I do that. Because like I hate when the bowl gets stuck, and the bowl's actually stuck right now because it's glass on glass and it's wet. So what I do, put 2 fingers on the downstem and lift the bowl out like that. You will never break a bowl. You will never break your down stem, and I guarantee you, a lot of you have broke your down stem before trying to pick this out. And the other bad thing, guys, you can be hitting it, it gets stuck, the down stem comes out with it. As soon as you pull it away, it comes off the bowl and shatters on the ground. I've seen it happen 10 times, and I know it's happened to you. Leave it in the comments if it has. My technique starts with just getting the bowl out. Never break a bowl again. You can put 2 fingers down, pinch up, that's all it takes. I know there's a lot of talking, but I guarantee you, use this method, you had never had a cleaner bong hit in your life. It is the best way to smoke, in my opinion. All right, let's get some more of this Jack. Oh my God, it's incredible. It's like Superman's house, Fortress of Solitude. It's about a 0.4, about a 0.5, all right? That's a 0.5, here we go. It's very light, it's airy. So all you out there, that's a gram. Trust me, I can eyeball a pound. Don't think I don't know what a half gram is. Eyeballing pounds would be a very good game show, huh? Sorry, continue, ready? This is the packing technique. Packing is the #1 thing people get wrong when smoking out of bongs. It makes the difference whether you can clear it or not. I promise you, it totally does. So back to what I was saying, people get a nug, do this, and go, shove their thumb on it. You've seen them, they do the thumb thing, and then you'll see some fools even do this. Pack it down with their lighter. Stop. Don't do that. Stop doing this. Don't pack it down with your lighter. Marty does it. The only thing you don't want to pack it with your lighter while you're smoking it, because you're just melting plastic onto your bowl while you're smoking it. It's probably not good for you. So, ready? Here we go. When it comes to packing, always remember this. The Bam Margera Viva La Bam technique. It'll make more sense in a second. Do you remember on Jackass or Bam or CKY when they used to dig holes in the ground? Like they'll go on a lawn, dig a hole, cover it with sticks, put some leaves on it, so when their homies are running, they'll fall straight into the hole. You've seen that joke before, right? That's exactly how you want to pack a bowl. Imagine that hole down there is the hole in the ground. This hole is the one you fall in, right? It's like the very bottom. What you want to do is layer on top of that little hole while leaving some room. You don't want to shove weed in there because you'll clog that hole. What happens when you clog the hole? Where's the airflow going? You ever hit a bong and the flame shoots back out? It's because your bowl is clogged. Of course it's gonna shoot back out. It's not gonna suck in, it's clogged. So what you wanna do is layer on top of this hole to where you still have some breathing room. You don't want this bowl to be packed tight, you want it to be fluffy. That is the #1 goal. I don't care if you're like, yo, you're only packing 0.3s, I pack 0.5s. Well, big cool guy, who cares? That's not everybody. Not everybody's doing that. Plus, when it's packed tighter, you have to hit it longer with a lighter. And what does that mean? More lighter fluid. What does time mean? Gets more stale. I do not like to grind bowls. I think it tastes weird, and when you grind the stem with it, I feel like I could taste it. I've been smoking for a long time, and I just noticed the difference. I pack one with grinded, pack one without grinded. I like non-grinded better. Just a preference. It means nothing. You could totally do whatever you want. Doesn't mean you're less awesome. Do whatever you want. I like to shred this between my thumb and this finger, and I shred. Just like that. And then I shred it in there. That's it. Look, you want to not stuff the hole. That's it. That's what she said. You want to not stuff the hole completely solid with weed. You want to leave it layered. Probably should have got a brand new bowl so you could see the layer, but go watch how to use a bong and you can see exactly what I mean. Okay, look at, see how I'm like lightly packing, but the bowl is still full? Exactly. You know when you're moving and you're packing a box, you could throw stuff in there not organized and it'll fill a box, right? And it won't be as heavy. But when you pack it perfectly and put stuff organized and fill it all the way up, that box is so heavy. Packing bowls is like packing your stuff shitty, all right? Don't utilize all the space, if that makes sense. You want to leave it airy. Look, this whole bowl will fall right out. See? Whole bowl fell out. Why? Because it's not packed to the brim, stuffed tight as hell. You don't need to do that. But if you like to do that, you can also do that. It doesn't matter. Look, I see a full bowl. Do you see a full bowl? Yeah, me too. Full bowl, and I can rip it cleanly, all in one breath. I don't have to struggle. It's not going to get clogged. I'm not going to do the bullshit. Now watch. Once again, guys, this lighting is very important. What happens when you hit the bong and you suck the flame down the middle? You ever see where it's just, and the weed sucks right through it, and all the weed on the outside is green and not burned? And it's like, what the hell is that? That's why you roast it on the outside. You want to roast on the outside. So once the outside's burning, it starts to suction down. But what happens when the outside suctions down? The middle falls. And once the middle falls, it falls into a pit of fire. All right, so you don't have to keep lighting it. You just got to light the outer edges and it'll smoke the whole bowl down. I'm telling you, trial and error after 150 pounds of weed in the bong over the years, I'm telling you, this is the best technique to lighting a bong I've ever had, I've ever seen, and if you have a better one, I like to learn too. All right, guys, here we go. In a circle, 50% of my breath should be filling it up, 50% of my breath should be clearing it. Don't push yourself. Don't go like, oh, I need to clear, and then you end up choking and you don't even like smoking out of it, and then you feel like shit. You don't want to do that. Weed's supposed to be enjoyable. It's not a competition unless you make it a competition, all right? Here we go. In a circle, suction this whole bong hit down, 50% of your breath, 50% of your breath should be clearing it, and you have perfect bong hits. Nice. All right, guys, that was using a bong. That's it. There's nothing more to it. If you want to pack half bowls, go for it. You don't have to fill the bong up. It's up to you, man. When you buy liquor, the guy doesn't sell it to you and go, you better chug it. Nah, dude, it's your own discretion. It's for you. Whatever you want to do. These bong hits are full bowls. You don't have to do full bowls if you don't want to. You don't have to do 50% of your lungs. That's just my suggestion. This is just little techniques I learned over the years that really helped me rip some monsters. Because these bong rips, I love them. This is one of my favorite ways to smoke. It's a whole feeling. It's ripping at the, it's like when people start a car. It's the same thing. Feels the same to me. Like I get, ooh, that shit was tight. So if you're like me, you understand. And if you're not, maybe one day you will be. And if you never are, totally cool. Just keep smoking and do your thing. Also, another couple quick things. This is not a rig. Or it's not referred to as a rig because it's a bong. When people say rig and bong, I know a lot of people want to learn more terms. This is a bong. Taking some bong rips. Now, there's not many more terms, you know what I mean? B. Arthurs, BRs, I've heard that. There's not many terms to bong rips that I've heard, all right? Bong, my piece, that's really it. But that can go for a rig too. But remember, this is not a rig. A rig is usually for dabs, an oil rig. That's why they call it that. All right, I hope this little piece helped. This is the bong section of the video. This is just very basic, very easy. And if you don't know any of this stuff, I hope you learned something. And if you already knew all this stuff, that's cool. You're still here. Hi, are you in the chat? Say what up. But if this did help you, I'm very excited. I'm stoked. That's why I do this. That's why I did this video, to help somebody. I hope one day I'm at the store and someone comes up like, hey, I'm the fool you were talking about. I did not know how to use a bong and now I do. Thank you. So guys, I hope this helped. This was the bong section. For the weed video, the beginners, this is the last section, and this is the most common. I think almost everybody smokes a joint. I'm not saying that everyone smokes joints. You might love bong rips more. I'm not saying that. I'm saying everybody's at least smoked a joint. That's like the international smoke. Nobody does this. It looks dumb. You know what I mean? It kind of looks like a dick thing. So, you know, the international, like, smoke a joint. So this is it. So this right here is one joint. I would say it's about 1.5 grams. It's not massive. This is a perfect personal joint for me. I love it. Most people don't smoke this much, or most people can't get high off this little. Whether or not you're on this spectrum or this spectrum, doesn't matter. This is just a regular old joint. Here we go. Actually, before we get started, to roll this thing, all right? I'm not gonna sit here and teach you how to roll a joint. I've done that video before. Boom, over the screen. This is the how to roll a joint. This is my first video that people started coming up to me going, dude, thank you. Yo, besides story time, 'cause I get story time everywhere, but when people in person are like, yo, you taught me how to roll, bro, thank you. Guys, this actually matters. I love that even one person told me this. At least 1,000 people have told me. Even with the meet and greet, at least like 4,000 to 5,000 people in person have told me, bro, thank you for helping me how to roll a joint. Yo, I can roll a blunt because of you. Yo, I know how to roll swishers now. I can roll a backwood. And for the how to roll a backwood video, I didn't know how to roll a backwood. I had a friend come show me, and I was still learning. See, we're all here learning. I've been smoking for 20 years almost. I'm still learning, okay? So here we go. Now, nobody's cooler than anybody. We're just here to learn. Doobie, joint, spliff. And once again, spliff everywhere else means like tobacco mixed with weed. But I hear people call regular joints spliff all the time. I don't know why. I don't know how that caught on, but a spliff means tobacco with weed, but I'm saying that because a lot of people call it that. All right, whatever you want to call this, a J, burn one, whatever you want to call this right here is up to you. I've never said anything other than joint. Hey, let's roll a joint. So besides how to roll a joint, and I know it sounds insane, but a lot of people don't know how to breathe on these. Some of you fools will ruin a joint, and if you're meeting somebody for the first time, they might not want to tell it to you. People just might like, oh, I chill with him, he's cool. That fool ruined my joint. Every time we smoke, he ruins my weed. And I promise you guys, it's happened. One of you watching this has happened. The second you left a room, they talked about you like, you wet the joint up, bro. Oh man, she made my whole joint run. What the hell? You ever heard of that term? So, making a joint run. Before we even light this, I'm gonna give you all the things, the do's and don'ts of smoking a joint. This is for beginners, all right? These are things that you should take to the grave. Number one, if you're gonna power smoke, rip the joint, you know what's gonna happen? It's just gonna start running on the side, because unless it's perfectly rolled and it's burning even, when I mean running, one side's gonna burn way faster than the other. You ever see that? Where one whole side is completely scorched, this side is barely on fire, and especially when you hit it, the fire's only on one side. That's because you hit it, you let it run, and the person didn't light it perfect, but when you hit it too hard, it'll make the whole joint burn like shit. My key to you, if you're gonna power smoke a joint, you'll see me do this in a lot of videos, I promise you. Now that I brought it up, you're gonna be like, damn, Thomas, you were right. I can go 10 years back in videos and you were doing that. If you're gonna power smoke, turn that like a pookie. Pretend you're smoking something else. You gotta turn it. If I rip in a joint, I turn it. That way it's burning evenly, because the power of the smoke, I'm telling you, it's just trial and error. Maybe nothing changes, but I'll tell you right now, my joints don't run. Even off camera, I'll be smoking a joint, my joints don't run. I fix them quick as I can see it. Dude, it's like a quarterback, like, 40 yards. Same thing, like, oh, it's gonna burn. It's gonna burn weird in about 10 seconds. Hold on. And you ever see me do that in videos? And people always say, why are you relighting the joint 30 times? I'm not. I'm fixing it. I want my joints to burn completely even, especially when I'm doing videos, because if I'm not paying attention, I go back and it's gonna be burnt on one side. I don't want that. If you're gonna power smoke it, at least turn it. Let that hot smoke build, but let it rotate. You ever see fools roast a pig? They don't just put it on fire. It'll burn up on one side. They turn that bitch. All right, there's a reason. This is the same thing. Turn the cherry. Number two, lighting a joint. I'm gonna show you how to light a joint perfect. And if someone tells you it's not perfect, they're a damn liar. My joints light perfect this way every single time. This is where a lot of people mess up. You ever see people do this and they burn it up like this and all the way up to here is black, and the paper starts to rip apart right here, and this is not fully burned and the tip falls off. Did I just describe the way you light joints? Probably. For all the beginners out there like, I know, that always happens to me. Yeah, you'll light it so much right here that the tip falls off. The end of the weed falls out, right? Here is how to light a joint perfectly every single time. I've been doing this since I was 18. I finally got the technique around 19, all right? I got it down perfectly where I'm like, ooh, okay, here we go. So there's something called pop the top. I can't do it on this one, I think. It's too small, but I could try. You know what, I'll do that somewhere else. Anyway, you light the whole edge right here, and then you could pull the top off because it just burns that, and all you see is weed. But it's usually for fatter joints. Here we go. This one, I'm just gonna show you my regular method that I light joints every single day, same way. I like to leave this little flag. I call this the little Super Mario flag. I like that. At the end, when you win, you grab that flag. So this is it right here. I leave the flag, I light it on fire. Just the flag. And then as soon as that hits, it's gonna hit the edges. See how the edges are up? See? I'm gonna do this very slow in steps. I'm just lighting it in a full circle, so the whole outer edge is completely burnt. You see it? Every single part of that edge is black. Oh, I did the pop the top. That's really fun. I burned it around the whole edge, so the top just fell off. I didn't know if it was gonna work. Perfect. The whole top is burnt off, right? As you can see. So pretend that top was still on there. I would burn it, and the second it's on fire, like this, I go. That's what I do, guys. Ready? See, I'm lighting the most outer edge possible, and then what that does is send the flame in, all right? Instead of just burning it, you see people do this and try to get it like this, and then they get it, runs up and it turns black and it burns the paper. I know it's happened to you 100 times. It's happened to me too. And the only reason I'm burning it a lot is just because I'm trying to talk and show you. Usually this would be done in like 6-7 seconds, but I'm just showing you, okay? So once you're burning it and you did the already, right? And that means there's a little bit of flame in there. The second you do this, turn that around and light it. You don't want to put the flame under it. You want to put it in front and inhale the flame, just like the pipe. You want to put the flame right outside and inhale the flame. Bring the flame toward the joint. Don't put the flame in the joint. Ready? There you go. See how it's completely even? See that? Completely even. And say it's not even. Say there's a little edge. Touch it. Put it out. Touch that little paper you need to get off. Put it out. That's it. Look at the edge, guys. That is completely perfect. I don't know what else to say. That is perfect. That joint is complete. It's lit all the way around, the full surface, and then all you gotta do, smoke it. But another little tip. Here we go. Sometimes I smoke joints like this. You'll see me doing it in videos. I put them up. Why? At the very beginning is the riskiest part of the joint. This point of the joint, you're gonna know if your shit's gonna start to run, all right? So I can see a little bit right there. I don't know, I'm pointing it out to you too, I'm not perfect. There's a little point right there that's a little bit lower than the rest. So I'm like, okay, is that burning too fast or is the other part burning too slow? You know? So what I'm gonna do is do this. I'm gonna hit it a little, and you won't see me do that. There, put the flame out. So you don't have to, I just put the flame out like that. There it goes. Now it's completely even everywhere. Yeah, that's a good joint. More technique, more tips. You ever hear fools say you lipped it? You lipped the joint? Some fools will say some derogatory as racist terms about that, but that's not what we say here. You ever hear fools say, damn, you wet it all up. You lipped the joint. Your lips. If you go like this, not on just the outside, you jerk. Go like this. And if your finger's hella wet, don't be hitting the joint, all right? At least have your lips, the inner lip a little dry. Or if not, put the joint on the outside of your lips. Stop wetting up everyone's joint. It's disgusting. I hate when people do it. They do it so much. I'll even go this far. Put my fingers on the edge and hit it like that. If my lips are kind of wet, just to be polite. If you piss on the toilet seat, do you clean it up? I hope so. Same thing. All right, here we go. It's disgusting, bro. Everyone needs to use this, so don't be gross. Here we go, just like that. Make sure your lips not super wet. That's it. And if you can take it off and it's not wet, thank you for being a good friend. I've had a lot of homies give it back. Gooey drip like, oh my God, don't bring him around, please. What is wrong with it? We should call everybody out, though. All right, well, I'll call you out like, yo, this thing's Aquaman, Poseidon. So here we go, guys. That's one thing. Don't lip the joint. Nobody likes the people that lip the joint or the blunt. Please be courteous. It's a hygiene thing, all right? It's just for your brain. Like, you don't want to put your lips on wet-ass stuff. So, rule number one, how to light the joint, right? How to light the joint is key, but remember, rolling the joint's huge too. But go watch the other video. Lighting the joint is very key. It's still burning great, right? I haven't wet it all up. You lip the joint. Your lips. If you go like this, not on just the outside, you jerk. Go like this. And if your finger's hella wet, don't be hitting the joint, all right? At least have your lips, the inner lip a little dry. Or if not, put the joint on the outside of your lips. Stop wetting up everyone's joint. It's disgusting. I hate when people do it. They do it so much. I'll even go this far. Put my fingers on the edge and hit it like that. If my lips are kind of wet, just to be polite. If you piss, what? Every part's my favorite part. I love the beginning, but the middle's, I love the middle, but the end of the batter joint is the shit. So there's the very roach of those 90s joints with no filter. Oh, I love that shit. So there's a lot of different variations, but hit that shit a few times, pass it to your homie. You do not have to tell them about your day while you're holding the joint. Maybe like this. You're not gonna believe what happened. So I was at work, right? And that bitch ass fool Tammy, like that's reasonable. Like you're smoking and telling a story. Hit the whole joint. I want to hear it. This is sick energy. Like that's cool. But if you're just telling the whole story while people are following the joint, you know what I mean? While you're telling a story, you should pass it.
That's about it.
So guys, we've learned how to light a joint, power rip a joint. How not to lip a joint, how to hit it and pass it. We've learned how to hit a pipe today, learned how to use a carb, how to pack the pipe. We've also learned how to hit a bong, how to pack a bowl, how to save your breath and clear the bong. No more then clearing stale smoke later. That's why you don't like bongs. Nobody likes stale smoke. If I hit the bong and my first times were all stale smoke, I would not be a bong smoker. And I know this sounds kind of harsh, but it's not the bong. It's just you, okay? Change up your technique, save your breath, and you'll love bongs. I promise you. You smoke an eighth a day, try to smoke an eighth out the bong. I dare somebody to smoke an eighth out the bong. I did that for a video once. Oh my God, I was so damn high. I can smoke a gram out the bong and be extremely just high as shit, or I can smoke a gram in a joint and be cool. I'm still high, but not like the bong. Bong is shotgunning beers, joint is sipping. That's how I like to look at it. And dabs are chugging liquor. And this ash is so Caucasian white. So guys, I hope you learned something today. If you learned something today, or even if you didn't and you know somebody could use this, share the video with a friend. Share it with someone you know needs this help. Hey, not everybody's a pro out there. Weed is getting less taboo now. That doesn't mean every 18-year-old's about to try weed. There might be 50-year-olds that never smoked weed that are just trying weed because it's becoming legal in their state. No matter what.
Found in his uncle's apartment and moved to his bedroom. Also on the shelf on the left side of frame, Miles has this wooden moose. This is actually an Easter egg for Lord and Miller's 2021 film Mitchells vs. Machines. This moose is a hugely important item to the Mitchell family in that movie. Gwen finds Miles' sketchbook. Armin is lucky that she didn't see any of the other drawings he probably drew of her in this. But over on the left, he kept a bus ticket stub. Hudson Valley Explorers Schenectady to Brooklyn Central. This was the bus ride home that they took after Gwen saved them from Olivia Octavius in the forest in the 2018 film. So Miles has been scrapbooking his relationship with her. Miles and Gwen swing from construction crane to construction crane, just like Andrew Garfield Spider-Man does at the climax of the 2012 Amazing Spider-Man film, as they thread the needle between buses. Notice how this whole block is just colored in pink and teal hues, a way of showing how Gwen's colors are tinting and shading this reality as her influence spreads throughout it. There's this awesome point of view shot from the truck driver. Miles swings on the right side, reflected in both mirrors, and then we turn to the right side mirrors as he flies behind the truck, and the exclamation points from his scream chase him, just like the "ah" from his fall in the 2018 film and the "woo" in the final act. I just love how Miles stays behind Gwen throughout this whole sequence, hiding his clumsy collisions and trying to come off as more confident than he really is. Really though, just copying Gwen's moves, like hastily tying his web to his ankle. He tries to claim that he's learned just as much as she has, but really he's just actively learning in this moment from her. They pass the hot dog vendor and we see the action word "take" on the hot dog swipe, but then Miles whips money to the vendor's chest. If you look closely, this is an alternate universe $25 bill. I love this. There's just a kid who mindlessly licks the window of the train with a big ol' smile. I think he's my favorite character in this movie. I could watch him on loop. This is just so funny to me. Gwen plants a drone to spy on the Spot's apartment. Above it, I love this, is a billboard with a bagel. All of it, always, all over the place. A 1610 version of the bagel-themed Everything Everywhere All at Once. This movie's animator is clearly acknowledging the bagel parallel with Jonathan Owen. Miles and Gwen look out at the city, sitting upside down from the Williamsburg Bank building, creating such a trippy but great visual. Gwen says,
In every other universe, Gwen Stacy falls for Spider-Man. And in every other universe, it doesn't end well.
not only is she referring to Earth 65 Peter's death as the Lizard, she's also referring to the universes where Gwen Stacy famously dies in the Death of Gwen Stacy arc, like we saw with Emma Stone in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Back at the rooftop party, Miles and Gwen whip some food, and we see a can of grape drink, a nod to my favorite Dave Chappelle bit.
A lot of black people don't have the privilege of knowing about grape juice because they have grape drink. It's not the same formula.
Miles couldn't scare off Gwen. We get this heartfelt moment between Miles and his mother, Rio. The city they look out on has incomplete sketch lines in the distant background for the buildings, kind of in the haze of the city. It's just a really cool detail to suggest that the Manhattan skyline is a part of New York that Miles might not know as well, because really his home neighborhood is Brooklyn. Rio gives Miles the advice that he really needs for this whole film, saying that she hopes her son never lets any one of those big, fancy, important places he's going to be in tell him that he doesn't belong there. I think all of us can relate to feeling like an imposter or a mistake or told that we're not ready for the big leagues. And I think the third Spider-Verse movie will prove that Miles' anomalistic status is actually the rule all Spider people should live by. But it's just sad to think that this moment with Rio is the last time in this movie Miles will talk to his home reality mother. And it's just earlier might be the last time he talks to his dad from any reality. Miles changes wardrobe as he descends the fire escape, unzipping his pants on the ground and seeing a dog walker and a dog, and then a